All right. I need to get more armor on my gear pieces. Hopefully I get something decent before I hit 100. Turn this down a little bit. All right, let's go. Wait. I think I can get at least to 90, close to, I don't know, maybe close to 92 or 3. I
must wait a moment.
I hate dying. I need to get a set of gloves with the triple roll of affixes that I want. I have a decent pair of gloves now, but it doesn't have rings to land slot. I feel like I really need those rings to land slot. Come on, pick it up, bro.
I must wait a moment.
Yeah, I really like these Ghost Walker boots, man. Make a big difference. Makes a big difference. I need a better amulet too. I have a pretty bad amulet. Pretty bad amulet. I just wanted to pick up those gloves. Give me. I also need a better chest piece for my other class, my other character I'm gonna run through AoZ. Yo, for the life of me, I do not like having both my ears covered with these headsets, man. I always gotta keep one ear uncovered. It feels weird. Oh,
I'm not
forgot that one back here. Not all about this one. I'm glad I woke up early this morning because I almost forgot to take the trash out. My wife would have killed me. Okay, now to the boss.
I'm not ready yet.
If you guys are returning viewers from my last stream, I was leveling this build up last stream, and I was almost to 100, but I had a DC, and my poor Druid, if you play hardcore, sometimes when your elixir of death, it'll bug out, and I guess while I was trying to log back in, something killed me. So I had to re-level this whole thing all over again, which is kind of frustrating. Another reason why I'm going to make a normal character at the end of this season, so that way I can probably start off normal next season, make some builds, get stuff out there faster, and then I'll do hardcore. But it's pretty funny. Sometimes when you die, I'll just show you guys real quick in hardcore. You'll get these funny things that happen. It says you, where's it at? Where's my guy? There it is. So I was killed by an unknown killer. So what happens is basically, I think there's a bug with the elixir of death evasion, where if you're taking damage over time or something, it'll end up going through the immunity, and you'll end up, it'll just say you died to an unknown killer. It's kind of funny. But that's my poor Druid, my poor guy, level 89, a couple days ago. Pretty frustrating. Especially when you DC with your scroll of escape and everything. I'm trying to think exactly what I want to have on my pants. I know I need armor. I'm missing a lot of armor rolls right now on this build. That's why I'm running disobedience. I need a solid chest piece with armor and 3 ranks to earthen bulwark, but I'm not getting too lucky. I know this takes a second to go through my gear. I wish you could just turn off like affixes you don't want on your gear, and the gear that you did want was the only stuff that showed up on your screen. That'd be pretty cool. But I know they can't do that because of how they have the drop system designed. It like randomly generates affixes once you pick it up. Definitely pick that up. Definitely maybe pick that up. Wait. I'll wait and see. I gotta check my build planner.
I'm not ready yet.
Hopefully I get a 46 and then I can just get a bunch of 46s to level with. That way I'm fighting level 100 monsters and I can get better gear. I'm hoping the gear that drops from the Abattoir Observer is all 925. It'd really suck if it wasn't 925. I mean, I know the glyph is the only thing that matters because that's going to make your character overpowered in everything except for Abattoir, but I'd still like to have perfect gear. It just looks nice. Oh, wrong way. I like that this still does some decent front end damage with your Stormclaw, even though it's not directly pumping up lightning damage. It still does a decent amount of damage. Makes it makes it a little bit better for the times where you get no procs on your attack leader. Boom. A dolmen stone necklace. Nice. I would rather have a Harlequin crest. I feel like my mic is just a tad bit too far away. It'll be super rare for me to get anything on my gloves. I'll have to get a triple roll that I actually need. It's going to be hard to find that. Anything going on? Let's see, a minute. I really do need to do Hell Tides, but man, I really get tired of doing Hell Tides. Endless gates. I think I just need to level my glyphs. I think it's more important that I level my glyphs. I'll probably do the Blood Harvest event and then go back to doing my dungeons. I wish they would make a different way. I don't know, a different way to do collecting some Forgotten Souls sometimes. I wish you could get them from doing some Nightmare Dungeons. Maybe not a lot, like you can get from Hell Tides, but I just don't want to do Hell Tides all the time. I'm sure when I make a normal character, I'll have a surplus of Forgotten Souls because I won't have to worry about like dying and I'll always have the best gear pieces I pick up. But I'll still have to do it when I have when I make a hardcore character in season 3. At least they'll be available all the time, though. That'll be nice. Although I think the Living Still is a good enough reason to go to Hell Tides now. They could probably just make Forgotten Souls more available throughout the game. I think that would be nice if they just kind of, now that we have Living Still to farm there, we could just go there to farm Living Still, and then just add Forgotten Souls to different areas. I don't know. I really hate that enemy. So much damage that comes out of that ground pound with the broken mast. Let me reset my bulwark. Is that all we have here? Just a bunch of these guys? At least with this build, you can just drop a poison creeper and bounce up out of there, so you don't have to actually be next to the guy. Still don't like them though. Everything explodes.
Wait a moment.
I used to get lost in this dungeon all the time. It's pretty simple layout, but when you don't have an overlay and you're not really looking at your map, you can get turned around pretty easy. I hope they add overlays in Season 3. Just like a small map overlay would be cool. Not a seeker. Awesome. That's great news, brother. Yeah, I'm going to be using... So, just... again, awesome news. I'm happy that you're enjoying the build, man. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted people to realize when you're playing Druid, man, low life is the best way to build damage reduction. There really is no better way to build damage reduction. You get, like... If you get top rolls on your amulet, your pants, and your boots, man, you're getting over 100% damage reduction. It's insane. And you don't really need to go super tanky, you know, with your health at all. And you can really kind of build into other options. And it gets even better when you're playing normal because you don't have to worry about dying, you know, like I do. So you can even go more damage on top of that. But for gotcha, yeah, I'm going to be using this build as well for AoZ. But I had stated earlier, I was leveling this build, if you go back a stream before this one, I had already leveled this build to like level 89, but unfortunately I had a disconnect, and my Scroll of Escape didn't proc, and I ended up dying to something while I was away, I guess like an unknown killer I was showing up on the stream. So if you ever play hardcore, sometimes your death elixir won't necessarily proc if you're taking like damage over time. And you'll end up dying from something. I don't know. It's weird. But I ended up having to re-level this whole build all over again. So this is this is actually the second time. I'll see. Look at there. I took a wrong turn right there. So that's exactly where I usually get turned around in this dungeon. But yeah, so I ended up having to re-level this whole thing over the past couple days. And unfortunately, it put me a little behind the ball for getting the build out there to you guys, but I didn't really want to release the build without gameplay footage because no one's really gonna like think that a build is any good if you don't actually show them you can clear stuff with it. So hopefully this one will be out probably by tomorrow. I want to kind of focus on doing some abattoir when it pops, probably get like the clears out there, and then I'm probably gonna release a video with the with my Stormclaw build using the Tears of Blood glyph. So I'm trying to get stuff out there. Yeah, man, that's why I'm going to be making a normal character at the end of this season, because I have to collect all the Lilith statues. I have to go through all the, you know, you have to do the whole process all over again for your renown and everything. And that's not super fun to actually do on stream. It's kind of boring to watch, so I'll probably save it for like the end of the season after I've done everything. Probably not super close to the end of the season. Probably somewhere late December. And then that way I can make a normal character in Season 3 and then get builds out for people so that way they can have those builds to play with. And then later on in the season, like probably maybe a month after the season releases, I'll do hardcore. It'll also give me an opportunity to play with some of you guys, because honestly, like, it's kind of fun doing solo, you know, self-found, but I do enjoy playing with other people. I'm just trying to get my glyphs to level 15 before, hopefully before the end of the day today. And get some decent gear, because I'm missing a lot of armor rolls on this character, so. But Subterranean's a lot of fun. Yeah, you can definitely use Temerity, and I heard another person talking about Andariel's Visage. Oh, I'm gonna be coming, bro. I'm gonna be coming. I just have to, like I said, I just have certain things I want to do before I swap over to normal. Because once I swap over to normal, I'll probably stay playing mostly normal throughout the rest of the season. Oh, these are really good gloves. I just wish these are actually perfect gloves right here. But if you look at the crit strike and the lucky hit, man, oh, those are terrible rolls. But these are basically perfect. Oh, that kind of sucks. I might go ahead and use them, though. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. That was... So, yeah, then you remember we were talking about how... if that healing comes through, it won't necessarily be low life bulwark. So you'll have to basically just get your damage reduction from other sources. But you should be able to. I mean, that's the beauty about it. The build is very flexible. You can move affixes around. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember. I'm trying to be as I'm trying to answer all the comments that I can see and everything as soon as I see them. I'm trying to be really communicative because I like having conversation, and I always like to make people feel like they're heard, you know, that I'm actually reading your comment, that you're actually getting a response from me. It is getting, you know, it does get a little bit harder once you start to, oh yeah, you'll definitely keep healing. You can honestly go like undying at that point. You can just build tons of passive health regeneration, and you'll get a ton of tankiness just from that. So there's definitely multiple ways. The only thing you'd probably have to do is roll damage reduction on other pieces outside of damage reduction while injured, which isn't really no problem. But yeah, I'm trying to be as communicative as possible. As I get more subscribers, it probably will get harder, but I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best to talk to everybody. Because the most important thing is I don't want people to feel like I don't see them. You know, I don't want people to feel like I don't see them. You know, I definitely don't want my channel to be that kind of channel where there's this disconnect between me as a person who's making content and the viewers. I kind of want to try to keep it as, you know, human as possible. Like, I know you're another person on the other side, so I want you to feel like I actually am appreciative of, you know, you guys stopping by and, you know, watching my content. Well, in turn, I'm grateful for you guys, you know, just supporting me and continuing to, you know, leave that positive feedback. And honestly, you know, I'm always open to any kind of constructive criticism. So if there's something that I can improve upon, you know, definitely, you know, if there's something you don't like or something that maybe you feel like I'm not doing it well enough up to a certain standard, please let me know, because I'm always willing to put more effort in where I can currently, you know. I need to, what I'll probably end up doing is making a Discord at some point in time. And that way, people that are enjoying my content, who want to, like, participate in my community, they'll be able to come in and we'll be able to have, like, good conversation while playing games and play together and stuff like that. I'm actually thinking about going ahead and making this build public and letting you guys look at it if you go to my Mobilytics profile, just so you can, like, attempt to try it out before I get it finished. I've also been thinking about, I've been running sapphires on my weapon just because crowd control effects, you get that critical strike damage under a different modifier. So, like, with vulnerable, it's you know, it's hard to spread vulnerable everywhere, but because we have poison creeper, we can always crowd control enemies, so we're always getting that 24% critical strike damage. So I think sapphires might be a lot better for both builds, just because you do have poison creeper on the Stormclaw build as well, and you get the same benefit of resetting it constantly. I'll pull that off there. Barrier regen. No. Crit strike. It's actually not too bad. I could probably roll luck on it, but werewolf skill damage. Nope. Man, I wanna roll some of these things, but I really have no forgotten souls, man.
Not while I'm in town.
First call me, now Leon. There's something out there. Good business and fortune to you.
I'm gonna go do this blood harvest real quick just to pick up the extra tree of whispers, and then I'll jump into Jalal's vigil. Oh, man, I hate when it's villagers. Yeah, this build is built around low life, so you're gonna be able to get that low life bulwark damage reduction from your amulet, your boots, and your pants, and then everything else is just building up armor and some added damage reduction. I think this build will actually be even better for Abattoir, but I just haven't gotten it. Man, I gotta get it. I gotta get to level 100 too. It just really set me back when I died, unfortunately. Because I would have already had this out there to you guys so you guys could try it. Because I haven't gotten to actually even try out my entire, I haven't got to try out the entire Paragon tree, so I don't know if it's optimized the way I would like it to be.
I'm not ready yet.
And the cool thing about this build too is that even though you're not really going too crazy in terms of building up damage for your Stormclaw, you still get a decent amount of damage out of it. So it can help, like in the overworld or while you're doing some lower tier dungeons, if you don't get your Poison Creeper pack leader to proc. You'll still be able to do a decent amount of damage. And the cool thing about this build, yeah, I'm telling you, it's the low life is definitely the best way to approach damage reduction on Druid. It's not the only way that you can get tankiness out of it, obviously, because it won't work on certain builds. Any builds that don't utilize Nature's Fury won't be able to use low life Bulwark. So if you're using a build that uses like, what is it, Ursine Strength, or if you're using Earth and Might, you won't be able to do a low life build just because you need that proc on your symbiotic aspect to reset your Bulwark. But anything that uses Nature's Fury, I would always say, like, go ahead and just use low life as your primary means of damage reduction. It is annoying that some dungeons will auto heal you for some strange reason when you do objectives. Like, for instance, when you're doing Carrion Fields, if you put one of the Bloodstones onto the pedestal, it'll heal you. But if you just hit the teleport button, you'll drop the Bloodstone. But there are some dungeons that when you unlock the door or something, it'll heal you. So I pretty much avoid those dungeons or just run Undying for those dungeons. But yeah, there's really no better way to do it. And it just opens up a lot of options for other things. And something cool about this build is that you're actually killing enemies with earth skills. So when you use Aspect of Mending Stone, you get that regeneration back to your barrier. So you're constantly healing your barrier when you kill enemies. So your barrier is even stronger on this build. So there's more damage coming from my earth skills. On this build specifically, I'm getting more damage from my earth skills. So everything is built around dealing more damage with earth skills. Stormclaw is just there to reset Poison Creeper through the pack leader boon. Total armor. I definitely need a better helmet. So this is good because I need more armor rolls. I'm missing a lot of armor. Basic attack. No, those are some low rolls. The only thing I wish is that the values for damage reduction while injured weren't so, you know, dramatically set so far apart, like 17.5 to 31.5. Sometimes you can get some really bad rolls.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, I tried the Earth and Might deal on Stormclaw, but it just, for me, for playing hardcore, there's no way. Like, it just is not tanky enough. You'd have to really be careful. And honestly, I feel like you can get that critical strike chance pretty close to 100. I mean, probably more close to 70-ish with different affixes, not affixes, but with different aspects and vampiric powers.
I must wait a moment.
And then you also have your Elixir of Cruelty, which gives you 15% critical strike chance, which is just absolutely crazy. And they're not hard to get, you know, especially considering we have to run so many Hell Tides this season just to get Living Still. Also, when you guys start running your abattoir, don't forget about your incense. Some of the incense are really good. Probably the incense that might increase your resistances by 1%. I know they said when you're doing, when you're increasing your resistances past cap, it's actually a huge damage reduction. So there's an incense in there that'll increase all your resistances by like 1% past cap. Because I'll probably be running an incense when I do mine. Yeah, so that the reason why that doesn't mean anything, that it lacks damage for bosses, is because you're going to get the Tears of Blood glyph, and that glyph is going to make everything insane. Like, the idea... So, my Stormclaw build's currently built basically for Nightmare Dungeons, because that's really all Abattoir Observer is a timed Nightmare Dungeon. So, when you're talking about dealing damage to bosses, it's like you're going to get the Tears of Blood glyph, and every boss is going to be a joke. The only thing that you're really going to have to struggle is when you're pushing higher tier Abattoir Observer. So, when people are talking about it doesn't do enough damage to bosses, I can... With a properly built out boss... with a properly built out build for bossing, I can kill Duriel in one phase. With Stormclaw. What most people want is like these ridiculously broken builds where you do like 1 billion damage. To me, that's just the unintended mechanic. Like if that's just like an unintended mechanic that's probably gonna get patched out of the game in season 3. And I don't really play builds like that. So yeah, I mean there's plenty of damage there, and when you're going to be doing bossing, everything is going to be pretty much trivialized with that new with the new glyph. So I wouldn't really worry too much about bossing, because that new glyph is going to give you so much multiplicative damage. You'll probably be like one-shotting everything, no matter what build you're playing, as long as it's some kind of cohesive build. All right, I'm not going to fight the butcher right now. I don't have enough damage through my glyphs. He's just gonna sit there and heal. It's just a waste of time. Yeah, so, but like I said, yeah, don't worry about killing bosses right now. Just get your Tears of Blood glyph, and you're gonna scale that glyph, and you're gonna kill bosses. Like, you won't even have to change anything on the build. You'll just be killing bosses because that Tears of Blood glyph is so powerful. It's going to give you multiplicative damage. It levels up like 200 times. It's insane. Well, I'm not necessarily sure what you had set up for your character or how you approached your bossing, but I know from me, like when I do bossing with a bossing build on my Stormclaw build, I shred through bosses. And there's like countless, I've got countless videos of doing so. But if there's any questions you have, I'll gladly answer them. Maybe there's just something you're missing in your build that might be causing you to have that kind of that damage drop off.
I'm not ready yet.
I think everybody's objective right now is they want to somehow manage to beat the Abattoir of Zur, but to me, like, I don't really care too much if I complete every tier of Abattoir of Zur, because I already don't think that there'll be many builds that actually can complete the entire Abattoir of Zur. I think it's usually going to be some kind of build that's like double or triple dipping into something. Like a lot of people are talking about running Blurred Beast, because it pulls from your Paragon at like double or triple dips or quadruple dips into your damage modifiers from your Paragon board. And like stuff like that isn't too interesting for me. I can see where some players like it just because, you know, bigger numbers are more exciting, but I've never really liked to run builds like that. Yeah, but I think, you know, also I think the developers intend for mini builds not to make it, right? I almost think it's almost like a test for builds that are probably going, like, different things that might get patched out in Season 3. Because I can almost guarantee you that any build that makes it through that content is going to get patched out if there's a broken, you know, if there's a mechanic that's not necessarily working correctly, or that it's something's functioning and it's too strong. It's probably going to get patched, nerfed, or a bug fixed in Season 3. But I'm not going to hold my breath on it, because it did take them a while to fix Bulwark, when Bulwark was doing crazy numbers. They fixed it in Season 2, so... Yeah, but I'm just hoping to basically take the builds and push them as far as I can. That's my, you know, that's my overall objective. I don't really care too much if I complete every tier. Almost forgot to put on my I think if they factored in like builds like Ball Lightning that are just going crazy, and I don't even think Ball Lightning is the craziest build. I think it's just incredibly popular because Sorcerer is so much fun to play. I haven't played a Sorcerer, but I've seen how mobile Sorcerers are, how fast they move, and to me that looks like a lot of fun. Just the speed itself, like, I really hope they invest in building out some kind of movement speed in your characters overall, because I think one of the worst aspects of leveling like an early Druid, or from what I understand, but I haven't played an early Barbarian, is just the fact that you move so slow. So I know from experience, it's like your Druid moves incredibly slow. And it can be a little bit annoying when you're trying to level that your character moves so slow. And then you'll see like a rogue or a sorcerer moving through, and they're just flying, so. I think because they factored in a lot of those other builds, it'll be pretty hard for people to get through all the tiers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they meant for there to be a reward just because it's not meant to be completed. I think it's just more of a challenge, you know, which is fine. I think it's fine. I think there should be some, like a cool cosmetic or something like that for completing maybe the first 1 or 2 tiers, but after that it should just be like trying to, you know, I guess complete as many as possible just for your own enjoyment. Because I know a lot of players still struggle. You know, there will be new players coming to the game. A lot of players still struggle doing tier 100 dungeons. A lot of players will still struggle doing like Uber Lilith, things like that. So I think for the majority of players, it's just going to be a nice achievement to complete maybe the first 2 to 5 tiers of abattoirs. Or after that, it's really just like kind of diminishing returns after that. You know, it's just grinding and grinding and grinding to get glyph levels so you can constantly push those higher tiers. Yeah, basically your own slap on the back. That's all it is. I am kind of excited about leaderboards in season 3 though. I like the way that they're implementing the leaderboards in like this kind of randomized time-driven event where, you know, your placings change each week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to kind of make builds, push them as fast as you can, see where you can get on the leaderboards. It's the only thing that makes me want to start with a hardcore character first, just because I want to try out those things. But I don't know if they'll come when season 3 of launches, or if they'll come after, like shortly after it launches. I like randomized dungeon style gameplay. I don't know if any of you guys played the bastard child of Diablo, which would be Diablo Immortal, but absolutely, absolutely, my man. And just understand, like, not every build is meant for your play style. If a build isn't functioning for how you play the game, find a build that functions for how you play the game, because it's not really a reflection on, a lot of times it's not really a reflection on your skill, it's just necessarily how you're approaching the game. Like, I really enjoy melee builds that are really fast. I'm not a huge fan of like lightning storm builds. I tried to make a lightning storm build. I found it to be pretty boring for my play style and how I like to move my character a lot. So I found myself making more mistakes with that build just because I'd almost tune out. I'd go on autopilot and I would just completely stop paying attention. And not just that, but there are some bugs that still exist with Lightning Storm, unfortunately, that hopefully will get patched at some point in time. But yeah, find a build that matches your play style, because a lot of times people try to make builds. A lot of times people try to find a build online and then use that exactly how it's presented to them, and sometimes it just won't match up with how they play the game. So even my builds, you might enjoy them, but maybe take what you have and kind of customize it to your play style. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. That's why I said, like, I don't play like if I was to make a barb, which I plan on making a barb, I probably won't I probably won't do Hammer of the Ancients Barbarian. I'm probably gonna do a Whirlwind Barb because I really like that play style. I like Whirlwind. I like the aesthetic of the Barbarian. I like the, you know, how you can just kind of whirlwind through enemies. That stuff is cool to me. And I've never really liked Hammer of the Ancients, you know. So if I was to play like Sorcerer, if I was to ever play that build, I'd probably play like a Fire Sword just because I think it looks so cool. Even though Ball Lightning is so good, I really like the animations from some of the fire skills. It just looks really cool to me. And I think if I could take that build and push it as far as I could, that would be where the challenge is for me. I really hope that at some point in time they have like a really solid update for Druid minions, because I'd love to make a minion build. Just a pure minion build that doesn't rely on minions to boost up my power through another skill, but just a straight minion build where your minions are just tearing stuff up. I think that'd be pretty cool. But as the companions sit right now, they're not that great. Yeah, I mean, Fire Sword just looks so dope. I mean, the giant serpent thing, like, how can you not love it? You're, like, blowing flamethrower fire everywhere, explosions. I've never played a Sorc, so I don't know exactly all the mechanics with the class, but it looks like a ton of fun.
I must wait a moment.
I think Sorc probably has some of the best class skill animations in the game, in my opinion. Something I've said repeatedly while I'm streaming is I wish that they would make like custom animation changes for your skills. Like for the Druid during this season, I really like that Blood Funnel Hurricane that the Bloodseeker Druid casts. I think it would be so cool if you could do that with your character, like turn Tornado into like a blood funnel, and you're just throwing out these really cool looking blood funnels. It'd be just a neat way of adding some things to the game through customization options for players. And hopefully not charge for them. I think that would be nice. But they probably would. Yeah, I feel like this build is so tanky compared to the Stormclaw build just because you're killing stuff with your Earth skills and it's refreshing your Bulwark while you, without having to actually reset it through symbiotic aspect. This is, I wouldn't really, I guess this is more what would fall in line as a Subterranean build, because that's the aspect, aspect you're using. You're using the Subterranean aspect to get the Poison Creeper to proc Landslide. I would say this is probably, let's see. I would probably say, and again, I haven't leveled this all the way just because I've had to re-level this character. But I would say that this is probably a better build overall. Like, in terms of playability, like if you're approaching the game, if you're to play this build, you'll probably find it to be more tanky, so you don't have to worry about dying. And then you'll also do a ton of area effect damage, so you're not really, kind of dependent on your Stormclaw to proc your lucky hit on your different aspects so much. You're still reliant on your procs from pack leader from your spirit boons, but it happens enough. And then you can also just drop one of your poison creepers. It does a ton of damage, and you can bounce out of a dangerous situation. So you're not necessarily worried that you might get stuck in a pack of monsters and then a bunch of AoE explosive happens and you end up, dying on that character. I would say this is probably much more tanky, and probably is a little bit easier to play. You don't have to really look at the mechanics. I should just go, I'll probably go ahead and make the build public for you guys so you can check out what I currently have it set up with real quick. It is on my Mobalytics page. I don't have the link to it yet, but let me see. I'll go ahead and publish it. I gotta rename it. It's just a goofy name. But if you go to my Mobalytics profile, you'll be able to see it. It's called the Creepy Killer. I just have to rename it. It's a bit cringe, but yeah, in terms of playability, in terms of I think learning curve, you'll probably have a much easier time on this build. And when you do low life, it'll be even better, just because you'll actually get a benefit from your aspect of Mending Stone to replenish your barrier. So I went ahead and made it public, but I'll have to make a video on it a little bit later when I actually get gameplay footage. But I want to make sure before I make a video that I actually test it through Uber Lilith, make sure it kills Uber Lilith relatively easy, and then I want to test it through tier 100s, which I know it'll clear tier 100s. Yeah, the Paragon board's different because you're speccing into Earth skill damage, more or less, so you're going to have to make quite a few changes to your Paragon board. But overall, again, I think it's going to be a much easier build to play, especially through Abattoir of Zur, just because you're getting so much AoE damage and a lot of immobilization. And the cool thing is the bosses are just 3 Bloodseekers, and you'll still get that proc from Height and Malice. So for Height and Malice to proc, you need 3 poison enemies around you. They actually give you 3 vampire Bloodseekers as your boss, so you'll always be able to proc Height and Malice, at least for the first kill that you get. And then after that, it's just 2 more Bloodseekers. So I think it'll work out pretty well. And then, yeah, the low light. But again, it'll be even better for low life bulwark, just because you'll be replenishing your barrier before you actually through your kills with Earth skills. So if you read the aspect of Mending Stone, it tells you, in addition, killing an enemy with Earth skills replenishes a specified amount to your Earthen Bulwark barrier. And this roll is pretty high, honestly. Like, you can get it, if you get a really decent roll on it, it'll be pretty significant. And I don't think you'll ever have to worry about, losing your barrier. I would still probably run Metamorphosis just in case, just because Metamorphosis can break CC like Bulwark can. And it will reposition your character. And overall, it's just fun to play, but I think a lot of players will find it easier than Stormclaw. And it's definitely, like I said, much more tanky. I really wish I hadn't had that setback, because I would love to have gotten this build out to you guys a lot sooner.
Ready yet.
Oh, Old Stone. Of course they want to give me Old Stone. People hate this dungeon, Old Stone, but you know what? It is a it's a casual dungeon. It takes forever to complete, but you know, it's not that bad. Another good thing about this build is you don't have to worry about Death Pulse too much. You can just kind of keep going. I hate Death Pulse. I usually won't run Death Pulse in tier 100s. It just, ugh, the amount of damage it does. I don't really do Death Pulse. I try to stay away. I definitely don't do Lightning Storm, and Stormwrath Bane I probably stay away from too, just because it's more annoying than anything. It's easy to avoid, but when you're fighting the boss at the end, if that thing just sits on top of the boss and you got to reposition, and it's kind of annoying. Let me see. Give me just a second, I'll read that. I got all my I got my chat on my tablet, so I have to constantly look down on my onto my tablet just to read the chat. And I probably shouldn't do that in hardcore, but I don't know. I'm getting kind of good at it. I'm getting kind of good at it. Let me knock on some wood there so that way I don't die. As soon as I say stuff, I remember one time I was streaming and I was like, nothing really ever kills me in hardcore except for disconnects, and then I immediately died right after that. It's kind of funny. Oh man, that sucks. I hate when I get the waves. I should never. I always tell myself don't activate the. Don't activate any pylons or shrines, I should say. This isn't Diablo 3. I don't activate any shrines until you complete the dungeon, but I should probably put on Calm Before the Storm too, because you get so many crits with this build. Calm Before the Storm resets your ultimate pretty fast. Should go ahead and do that. There we go. I just want that Tormented Ruins sigil. Yeah, bro, I cannot wait till they put all the aspects in the codex. I have so many aspects. It's pretty much all I have. It's pretty much all I have that takes up space in my my war chest. Just aspects. I always try to keep at least 1 or 2 max roll of anything that I'm interested in making, and then the rest I scrap or don't. I just don't take off a gear. Crit strike. Why the 1.8? I wish they would just make that 3 to 5 instead of 1.8 to 5%. All right, let's see. We got Tormented. Ooh, nice. A 48. I think I want to keep it in the high 40s, just above like tier 1 level 100 enemies. I'll keep this 45 just in case I get something annoying. I don't want to go push too high too fast. That always gets me killed.
I must wait a moment.
First carnage. Now, Leo. There's something out there killing us, and no one will do anything.
Is there anything going on? What's this? What's the time? Oh, I won't even go over there. 3 minutes. I like Tormented Ruins a lot. I don't know. Some people post out some of these some people will post out some of the tier lists for that some people have made. And I don't know, I just don't agree with some of the dungeons that they have at the top versus like dungeons like Tormented Ruins, because you really can bypass everything except for just the you know, the initial killing of the elite to grab a key. You can beat this dungeon so fast. I like the random cyclone procs. Or the random boulder procs that you'll get just throwing enemies so far away. I know a lot of people don't like the boulder just because it pushes enemies back, but I don't know, it just looks funny to me. I hope they make earth skills better next season. I'd like to make a build entirely dedicated to just like some kind of earth ability instead of having to kind of get it from a roundabout way, like doing a poison creeper with Subterranean or something like that. It'd be pretty cool if they would do just a little bit of balancing, especially with boulder, because I really enjoy playing the boulder cane bear build, but just boulder feels a little bit too wonky as it currently sits. I think they also need to reduce the spirit cost for the aspect. I mean, 50 spirit to cast boulder, that's pretty crazy. Let's see. Take those boots, take that chest piece. Give me just a second, I'll read that out. Let me just get through the dungeon real quick. All right. Let me see. I appreciate your kind words, brother. Yeah. It's the... What's the build called again? The Creepy Killer build. I just published it, though. I'll probably end up changing it. It's just like low life Subterranean. I just hadn't made it public yet, just because I was still trying to kind of testing stuff out. Because I'd probably swap out of swooping attacks on that build just for the Avian Wrath, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I've been running with Avian Wrath for a little while. And I think I'll notice a lot bigger of a difference once I get Earth and Devastation on my Paragon board, just because it multiplies your critical strike damage. Which I'm pretty certain from the last time I did, when I did my Boulder Cane Bear build, it multiplied critical hit damage, but it didn't multiply Earth skill critical hit damage. So you just got flat values from Earth skill critical hit damage, which made me not really scale up a lot of Earth skill critical hit. I think I might keep this ring. Nah, I'll get rid of it. Just gonna check my Paragon board because I have like 8 points I can spend. Okay. I think that it can feel clunky if you're not used to it, but I don't personally find it clunky. I think, especially if you have more attack speed overall than just basic skill attack speed, you'll swap so fast from human, as long as you're not spamming it on your Stormclaw build. Like, because it's not really a skill that you're using for a substantial amount of damage, you're really only using Poison Creeper to immobilize the enemies, so you get the extra damage to immobilized enemies, and you're really only using it, obviously, to also, you know, just poison everything around you if you're not using something like the Exhonorable Will Ring or something like that to pull everything together. You're only really casting it one time. So if you're sitting here casting Poison Creeper with your Stormclaw build constantly, that's more of a player issue. So I would just say if you do have Poison Creeper on your build, just cast it one time, once, or depending on how long it takes to kill an enemy, once or twice. Other than that, it really shouldn't take you that much time to throw out a Poison Creeper, because this build is entirely designed around Poison Creeper, and you're constantly swapping back and forth between werewolf and human, and I really don't find that there's a big difference there. But again, that's just how I play. If it's something that you notice when you're playing, I would obviously tell you, and it's throwing you off to the point where it's getting you killed, or it's stopping your progression through certain areas, then definitely I wouldn't run it. I mean, I don't know. It just feels like I can cast it so quickly. I think it just matters as to how much attack speed you have. But once you get it enough attack speed, it really you're just throwing it out, because you also cast Bulwark constantly with this build. So you're shifting back to human to cast Bulwark. Unfortunately, I wish they would change that, honestly. I wish you could stay in wolf form when you're casting your skills, especially if you have like Mad Wolf's Glee. But I don't really see there being an issue. Like, I can just cast through. I'm casting like Bulwark at the same time as I'm casting. Look at how crazy that is. When you're this is why I like this build for running dungeons. Obviously these are just 84 elite enemies, but let's see where it's at with bosses. But when you're running dungeons, yeah, I still need quite a bit of damage from my Paragon board, but it's okay. It's not too bad. And we need to level up some. But when you're running a Bulwark build, you're always casting Bulwark, so it really doesn't make a difference for me. I think most people probably worry that if they're hit while they're in human form, they lose that armor, but it swaps back so fast just because your attack speed is so high with Stormclaw. But again, it's all preference, whatever you find to be the most playable for your play style. Let's go get these Tree of Whispers real quick, and then get back into doing some dungeons. But also, if you were worried about the issue of swapping back to human, you could definitely run Disobedience. So that way you're constantly getting a huge chunk of armor. And you're not too worried about, like, losing damage reduction. Something else is going to be nice. It's just the fact they're increasing the overall glyph experience we're getting now through normal Nightmare dungeons. I'm happy they're doing that. Do you play on a controller, Phil, or do you play on keyboard and mouse? Let's see. Of course they would try to spawn. Yeah, so something I do if I'm running something like, this is just how I like to set up my buttons. If you look down on the bottom of my screen, I like to set up my, the two skills I'm going to probably spam the most. If they're like off skills, like you'll see I have Hurricane on X on my Xbox controller and Bulwark on Y. And that's just because I can just cover both buttons at the same time and just kind of constantly, I'm sure you can probably hear it in the mic, unfortunately. I'm still trying to figure out how to block that out. But I'll just sit there and I'll spam those buttons constantly, and then I'll put Poison Creeper somewhere or whatever skill I just use occasionally on my left trigger. I have so many natures. I'll keep that. Just in case. Yeah, that I love Frostburn, man. I don't see anybody using those gloves, and I'm just like, you get the hard CC from freezing, and you get that massive boost just because you're using what is it, domination. It just changes. It just changes the way you can play. You get so much indirect damage reduction, especially against enemies like the big spider guys and the big zombie guys, because they blow up when you kill them. But if they're frozen, they don't blow up. So also the spider guys won't even put out more spiders if you kill them while they're frozen. So I'm surprised that I don't see a lot more people running those. And they have pretty decent affixes. However, I wish they would have put lucky hit chance on them.
Don't, Daddy. Hand it over.
Unfortunately, they did not.
Don't be a stranger. Come back soon.
Oh, let me pull those off the gloves real quick. What do I got left to do over here? What is it? Just the... I'll just do one of the pylon deals or whatever they're called. I don't really need any more potent blood, but I can always use it for another character.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, for me, I'm basically just holding down my right trigger for my basic attack, and then I'm just spamming X and Y on my Xbox controller at the same time, just to constantly refresh my bulwark and my hurricane. And then for this build, I'm using I do spam left trigger a lot because obviously I have to cast Poison Creeper, but it's usually not. It's only those 4 buttons really. And then when I cast my ultimate, I just throw that on the right bumper. Because I'm basically just gonna stop and just use my ultimate real fast and then go right back to doing damage. Yeah, I'd probably suggest just try different mapping styles, like for your controller, just to see how, see what you would prefer, and maybe it'll help make it a little bit smoother. I don't have an elite controller either or anything like that. Although I probably should get one at some point in time. They look pretty cool. Let's see. Movement speed. That's good. That's really good. That's a really good pair of boots. That's a high roll. All right. That's a really good roll there. I just need damage reduction while injured, and hopefully I get a really good damage reduction while injured. Without having to spend like 40 billion gold. I'll pull that off of there. And I'm always getting like low subterranean rolls. I wish I could get like a max aspect. Not that I need it to be max, but I definitely prefer it.
I'll keep my forge hot. Return soon.
All right, let's do some caverns. This is good for XP, and it has a decent run time. I was actually thinking about running Frostburn on this build. I tried it out. It didn't seem too bad, but I really do like the added lucky hit chance that you get. And I like the I like being able to run another aspect. This is another reason why I started running amethyst on my gear, man. I felt a big difference from my from damage over time effects while running amethyst. It really helps keep my bulwark up, especially when I'm running a higher tier, when I have all of my all the right affixes on my gear. I see a lot of people running rubies. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know why rubies. I feel like added health is not the biggest of deals in terms of overall like damage absorption. I feel like more added health. I mean, it would be okay if you had you didn't have a barrier or something. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of rubies. Probably just a different play style, different way of approaching things. I could just never really... I never really felt like I was getting any more tanky with rubies. Give me just 1 second and I'll read that stuff before I go into the next area. I gotta refresh my potions too. Let me see. Oy vey, really? Go away. Yeah, so your landslide is your primary source of damage. So you definitely want to get, like, I have a really nice pair of gloves here, but I really would love to have ranks to landslide instead of willpower. So for this build, it's earth damage. The poison creeper is just there because you require the poison creeper for the aspect. It also, of course, helps poison up enemies and give you a big damage boost to enemies that are poisoned through your Paragon board as well, and different affixes. But yeah, it's all landslide. It's all landslide. So you're looking for, you know, damage with earth skills. You're looking for critical strike damage with earth skills. You're looking for critical strike damage when you're using your earth and devastation. So one of the big parts that boost up the damage with this build is running earth and devastation, because it's a multiplier to your critical hit damage pool. So you're wanting a lot of critical hit damage. And I don't run the... I'm not creating the companion variation, because I just ran shepherds so much through season 1 that I kind of got bored with running shepherds. And I always use it in my level ups too. Like when I'm leveling up my character initially, I'm using a lot of, I'm always using like the Shepherd's aspect and stuff for my Lightning Storm. So I'm doing it a lot differently than what I've seen a lot of people run for Subterranean. So there are multiple styles of the build, but mine utilizes a lot of different ways of building damage while also having some options for extra skills, because you're not having to use every single companion skill. All you need is the Poison Creeper. So that's why you see I have Hurricane, which I get damage reduction with that. And then I have my ultimate on my bar. And Petrify is so good because it's another way of multiplying your critical strike damage pool. So, but yeah, you definitely just want to stack out Landslide as much as you can. Probably the best in slot headpiece for this build would again be, in my opinion, would probably be Harlequin Crest, again because you're getting damage reduction and you're getting the ranks to all skills. And obviously you'll get more Bulwark and you'll get more Landslide. But I don't have any Uber Uniques yet, so I've had pretty bad luck. This also seems like a pretty decent aspect. If I wasn't to run Ghostwalker, this sounds like a great aspect for this build. Because you get the increased duration of crowd control effects, so you're constantly keeping the enemies locked down. But the big one is dealing that multiplicative damage while enemies are unstoppable. And I think it would really do a lot of good, especially in Abattoir of Zur, because you don't know what your affix is. If I remember what they said, they don't let you know what the modifiers on the enemies are going to be. So if you get unstoppable enemies, you're going to be dealing a ton of damage with this aspect. So Exploiter seems pretty decent as well if you're not into running Ghostwalker. I really like the movement speed from Ghostwalker though. But I will keep a couple Exploiter around just in case. I probably end up running Exploiter in the later tiers of Abattoir just to see how far it will get me. I haven't gotten a Lycander staff. I haven't gotten any Uber Uniques this season. I just had really bad luck, and I do solo self-found, so it's a lot harder for me to get Uber Uniques because I'd have to run Duriel a ton of times, like all the time. But if I was to run that staff, I would probably run it on a Lightning Storm build, because Lightning Storm doesn't really depend on any kind of specific weapon to have. So most people are probably going to run like either a two-hand staff to get a bunch of damage out of your companions. But if you're running Lycander, you're going to get a ton of damage, and you get the added bonus of having the shrine buff. So I would probably run it on a build like Lightning Storm. I think that's where you'd probably see the most benefit out of that staff. It looks like a lot of fun. I definitely hope I can get one at some point in time.
I must wait a moment.
I don't want to run Conclave. I really don't want to run Conclave, but I'll end up running Conclave. Wait, I got Grinning Labyrinth. That's better. I didn't even notice I had that. I keep forgetting to break these at the blacksmith instead of going all the way over there. I'm just so used to running all the way over there.
Not while I'm in town.
Anything? Any world boss? Nothing yet. I think the only thing, if I was playing normal, I would probably go ahead and make a lightning storm build, but I feel like it's just a bit buggy as it currently is. I wouldn't say there's a certain amount of health unless your build depends on having a high health pool. Like, but then at that point, I just think you should invest heavily into health. Like, if you're running a pulverized build, you're probably going crazy on health just for more overpower damage. But I wouldn't say for my build specifically, you would need higher health because you don't get any benefit from high health pool with your bulwark. So the most you would want is just more bulwark ranks. So you want ranks on your chest piece for bulwark. You want Harlequin Crest because it gives you more bulwark ranks, and that will give you the survivability. So I probably wouldn't say there's a specific amount of health, only if your build entirely relies on, well, not entirely relies, but relies heavily on having a high health pool. Then I would say obviously you just want as much as you can possibly get. Like, you want your rubies on your gear pieces, you want health rolls in any affixes on your gear that you could probably get it. But for low life bulwark, you don't need health. And also, I know that they mentioned that the new content isn't going to be about how much damage that the monsters actually put out. So you won't have to scale your defense as much. It's just going to be based off of your overall damage output. So you probably won't have to invest much more in terms of overall defenses than you would for a normal tier 100 nightmare dungeon. You might have to do a little bit more, but I probably wouldn't. I probably would think that you wouldn't have to do much more. But if you're playing hardcore, just be on the safe side and go super tanky at first until you get a feel for the content, and then you can start kind of pulling points from wherever you're going into defense and put it into damage. I think I think I sit with like around 12,000 health or something like that. The only thing I would get benefit from with low life, if I had more health, is just basically having a higher health pool available to me when I'm low life. But it would only be like, it would be a marginal amount, maybe like a few hundred health up to maybe 1,000 health extra. But I would have to invest heavily in HP. So. I don't believe they said there was going to be many things that are like one-shotting. I think they said they're not going to go that direction. So, and if you do run low-life bulwark, your damage reduction that you get from bulwark is going to be crazy anyway, especially if you have a Harlequin Crest.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, if you like Stormclaw, you'll probably like this build. I really enjoy playing Stormclaw, and I really enjoy playing this build because it operates in a similar way where you're just kind of using your Stormclaw, you're just resetting Poison Creeper though. So I think you'd probably like this. You'd probably like this build as well as an alternative. You might even like it more. You might even like it more. The old Storm Companion pants. This set of pants sounds so cool, honestly, but in practice, it's just awful. I don't know why they have companion movement speed. That's probably the worst stat I've ever seen in a game, especially because your companions just follow behind you. They don't really, that movement speed is the biggest waste. In the Storm Howl passive. Oh, talk about a missed opportunity to make Lightning Storm a lot of fun. I feel like if they made the Storm Howl passive on these pants, make your werewolves also use Lightning Storm when you're using Lightning Storm, it would make those pants insanely fun to have. And if it also changed all of your other companions to lightning damage as well.
I must wait a moment.
Instead of just your wolves.
My eyes can only watch.
Forge awaits your return.
Oh, I don't need these.
My skills are matched. You'll see.
Another reason why I like this build specifically is because it goes through barrier from suppressor enemies. So you don't have to worry about suppressor enemies with this build.
I must wait a moment.
It's another reason why I like to play Stormclaw too. I feel like anytime there's a suppressor enemy in high tier dungeons, the enemies are just so smart. They like stay right inside the bubble. They don't want to move outside of the bubble. They'll charge you while they're in the bubble. Definitely you could use sapphires in the gear if you wanted that damage reduction while fortified, but I personally like the amethysts. I found I get a lot more damage reduction out of amethysts just because of how powerful damage over time effects can be. Like, they'll deplete your barrier so fast, damage over time effects, and honestly, when I've been running amethysts, I've seen a significant reduction in the overall amount of damage I take. And my barriers tend to last a lot longer. If they don't, you know, if they do get broken, it's usually I've put myself in a pretty big disadvantage, and obviously then it's not really has anything to do with the game. It's more or less me playing poorly. But I like amethysts for my play style. However, sapphires are decent enough. Now, if I was running a build without reliable unstoppable, which will probably happen next season if we don't have a similar power to Metamorphosis where we have unstoppable on demand all the time, I'd probably run Topaz if I didn't have a reliable unstoppable. Yeah, definitely give it a shot. See, and you know what? Tell me what you think about it. Because I know for me, it's made a tremendous difference. I have to get some more water in a few. I'm also thinking about if I want to get more lucky hit, but I don't know if I can afford to. Because I want my amulet to have movement speed, armor while in werewolf form, damage reduction while injured, and then what is the passive? Not in venom, but what's this? Crushing earth passive. That'll really pump up the multiplicative damage. That's like 15% multiplicative damage. I think that's going to be crazy. If I can get an amulet with 2 ranks that ends up being 3 ranks to crushing earth, that's a massive increase to my damage. Oh, I don't really want that either. Hollowed ossuary is not too bad. How long before this changes? 21 minutes. 6 minutes. I should probably be able to do this and then jump out and do that without much issue. Man, I wish we could change the cosmetic on our weapon to a different weapon style cosmetic. I'd like to have like a big
I'm not ready yet.
mallet or something like that instead of a staff. I think my wife just sent me a picture. I think my son's awake. He's probably acting a fool, going crazy. You know, another thing I hate about making a lightning storm build is wind walls, yo. Oh my god, wind walls. So annoying. Give me just, I'll read that in just a second, brother. Let me just get through this part of the dungeon real quick. You gotta love all the explosives, man. I really hope that explosive enemies goes away at some point in time. Like you kill everything, you just have to wait. Avoid the explosion. See, that's why I like this build. You can just move right through all of that and still do a lot of damage and kill everything on your way out of those enemies. It makes a big difference. Let me see. So I have, for my build, and because I didn't want to just run all the companions, like I said, I do that all the time when I'm leveling through Lightning Storm, and it gets kind of boring for me. So what I'm doing is making a more crit-oriented more crit-oriented Subterranean build. So I'm running the aspect of natural balance here on my gloves, and I'll get the crit strike chance increase, so I get more procs on my pack leader passive on my boons to my storm skills. So you get like 12% critical strike chance on your storm skills, which plays into Storm Claw. And then you get a big multiplicative bonus to your critical strike damage to your earth skills also. And then I'm also going to make up some of that, like, yeah, so the retaliation. To make up some of that multiplicative damage to my core skills, I'm running retaliation on the necklace, which gives me 60%, and I feel like it's a nice trade-off, because then I can run other skills on my bar. So I constantly have Petrify on my bar, I constantly have Hurricane on my bar, and it just makes it where it's that much easier for me to build up a little bit of it gives me that extra damage reduction while I have a Hurricane going. It also gives me more opportunity to get lucky hit chance, because Hurricane has a nice lucky hit chance modifier. Also critical strikes, so you're getting critical strikes with that as well. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. But again, I want to test it out when I get to level 100 with a full Paragon board, so I can optimize the build overall in my Mobalytics page. So I don't know if you heard earlier, I went ahead and made the build public on my Mobalytics. It's so you should be able to find it on my profile. I don't have it linked anywhere, but I'm sure you can find it if you go through the Lightning Storm, the Storm Claw link into my Mobalytics profile, and then go to my main, wherever, the main part of the profile page. You should be able to see it. Just know that I have not tested it yet in all in-game stuff, because when I was leveling my first character, I DC'd, and I ended up getting my character ended up dying while I was trying to log back in. So I haven't made a video for it yet, because I don't want to just put something out without actual, like, gameplay footage through tier 100 and stuff like that. And when I do put the video out, I'll probably have the Abattoir of Zerg completion on it as well. And then once I have that out, I'll make a separate build page for using the Tears of Blood glyph for this build, which will probably be pretty easy versus the Stormclaw build, because there's a lot of glyphs you could change out for this on this build. Let's see. Let's do some Spirit. So Spirit's a really big glyph for this build, because of the multiplicative the multiplication you get from a lot of the different aspects and stuff to your crit damage pool. So Spirit's definitely going to be a main glyph on this build. Let me just check and see what my... What? Oh. That's funny. My wife has started taking these magnesium gummies. Because we're expecting our second little man. And She's been getting a lot of really bad muscle cramps. Let's see. Another thing too with pack leader is that your companions actually have to not pack leader, sorry. With shepherds is that your companions have to be alive to get the bonus, and I feel like you'll probably lose some of it when your wolves die, which they'll die quite frequently in the higher tier content. But it's not that big of a deal. But I just like to have those added skills too, just being able to utilize more skills. It's funny.
I'm not ready.
I wonder how close I'll get to 100 before the new content comes along. What is it, 6:48? I'll probably get off of here at around like 10, just so I can work out and eat something and get hydrated and everything. And then I'll be back on later. I don't think I'm gonna run the abattoir first on stream, just so I can really focus on just running the content itself. So because obviously I don't want to die. But once I get the hang, like the feeling of the overall how it plays out, I'll go ahead and run that on stream. I just don't want any chance there to be any kind of lag or anything, or any kind of disconnect, as much as I possibly can avoid any of that when I'm doing that content at first. But I will post the videos of my completions, so that way you guys can see when I run through them. The first one will be with my Stormclaw build, and then the next set of completions will be with this build. And then I'll probably make a pulverized build and try it with that, but after that I'll probably make my normal character after that. I realize I just said after that, probably 2 or 3 times too many. You know, what I would do for overlay, just a small like overlay, not necessarily in the right in the middle of my screen, but like off in the left hand side. I think that would be so nice to have like a nice overlay there. Let me see if I can remove any points yet. I think these, I can take this out. Yeah, that's good. And then this should be fine. And then, what am I working on now? Outmatch. I still have to buff up Outmatch. The only thing I don't like about Outmatch is that it does multiplicative damage, but not to... but not to elites. Although it's going to be really good for clearing a lot of the mob packs. That extra multiplicative damage. I just wish it would be like something a little bit different. Like elites and bosses, and then regular monsters, it wouldn't do have the damage bonus. Just gonna check my mobalytics real quick. Make sure I'm going the right way. What is this? Earth and Devastation and Territorial. And then it's all the way up. I think this is how it's set up. I think it is. Which way? I think I rotated it a little bit. You go this way? Yeah, I think that's how I have it set. Okay. I go up here, then I go over, then straight up. Pick up some more resistance here. Some crit strike damage. The big one is getting damage to controlled enemies. You need a little bit of that. Yeah, the Thunderstruck node does. Yeah. You'll see a big increase in, especially in your Rune Worker, man. Your Rune Worker be hitting really hard. Lubins. I'm thinking about possibly moving that, which glyph I'm going to move out on my Stormclaw build for that, though. I'm not certain if I'm going to use Werewolf. I might need the damage reduction currently just because I'm missing some items. I don't have some of the items I'd prefer. I'm not certain if I'll move Werewolf out or if I'll move one of the other glyphs out. I might end up moving out Electrocution just for the for that glyph, for Tears of Blood. I'm not certain though. What in the world? Oh my god, did I just DC? Oh no. Come on, man. Oh my god, dude. I hope I'm not dead, yo. What's going on? Okay, I'm still alive. Okay. That typically means that I DC'd, I'm still standing in the dungeon. That's never a good thing. Oh, come on, man. Don't do that to me. This is exactly why I want to make a normal character. And I'm eerily close to 80. Yo, come on, man. It's not even working now. How is it not done saving? Well, if I can see my character, that means they're not dead. Okay, well that's good. Thank goodness I was out of danger already. That would have really sucked. So that's exactly what happened to my other character. I'll show you. It says I died. I died from an unknown killer. So if you've never played hardcore, I know I went over this earlier for those who might still be here, but sometimes you will die even after you DC'd because you won't have enough time for your Skull of Escape to proc, and then your Elixir of Death sometimes bugs out as well. And you'll die to an unknown killer. The game has no idea what killed you, just know that you did die and you cannot get your character back. So that was nice. Thankfully, I did not die, because I probably would have, well, I would have been frustrated. That's definitely would have been a little frustrated. I've been like, okay, I'm not making this build. I'm done. Like,
I thought the lot still got some good in it.
oy, oy, oy. And I lost the... I don't really want to run Sepulcher. I'll just make some... Let me see if I cannot just make a sigil. See if I can get lucky to get something. I don't really want to do... I don't really feel like doing 50. I'll just go ahead and do the Sepulcher. It's whatever. I'm just glad that I did not die. What do we got? Oh, good structures. We'll go ahead and do this real quick, and then I'll jump into the dungeon. I've probably died from DCs at least 4 times. I lost a level 100 character to a DC. That was probably the most frustrating one that I lost. Was an actual like level 100 character. I DC'd doing Uber Lilith. And lost a fully leveled character with really good gear.
I must wait a moment.
Usually I don't have any connection issues. I have a really good internet speed, and I always, you know, obviously hardwire my PC in. Usually I only ever have issues when I'm playing on my Xbox, because that's on Wi-Fi. So I try not to do anything like high tier nightmare dungeons or stuff like that when I'm playing on my Xbox in my living room. I always like the structures because it's so easy to find the structures in these blood harvests. It's the survivors that can be hit or miss, or villagers, I should say. There are always a lot of structures over here in this area. Oh, I gotta make sure I... Okay, yeah. I was about to say, I gotta make sure I have Scrolls of Escape, too. This one should be fast. What's weird is these restless spirits don't ever count towards your villagers anymore. I know when they first when Blood Harvest first was out, it definitely gave me it definitely counted towards saving villagers. And then also the villagers on the stakes, they immediately died too, which is weird. I think you're actually able to hit those enemies, and that's probably why they die. How many more? Only 4 more. I need to kill more world bosses. Alright, let's see. I already have a really good pair of boots. I just need to get more, I just need to get a lot more of, Forgotten Souls. I've blown through all of my Forgotten Souls. Which means I have to do... Oh, that's nice. Another 22% here. That's a good pair of... That's a decent pair of boots, but the other boots are better. Although it does have a higher power level. I just like the Ghost Walker aspect roll. I'll probably use that on these boots. Bear with me, guys, going through the equipment. I'm still looking for specific rolls on my gear. I need better rings. I need a better chest piece. And definitely a better amulet. That's not a bad, just the other affixes. I wish I... Total armor. That's really good. That's a really good helmet. That's almost a perfect... Yeah. I usually have plenty of that. I just never have Forgotten Souls. That's a really good helmet. That's a great helmet, actually. That's the one good thing, that even though when you play hardcore, your character, you lose your character, all of your other stuff still carries over to your next characters. I like the fact that they have that built in. I wish that your hardcore characters would just go to a normal realm instead of like losing them, though.
Come back if you need the forge.
Let me go ahead and pull that aspect off of there.
That's how that's done.
Oh, good. I had a Heathen's Keep too. That's really nice. I usually can get a decent amount of Forgotten Souls when I do my Helltides because I pick up all the screaming Helltide veins as I move through the map and everything, but it just gets a little bit, I don't know, just kind of monotonous having to constantly run Helltides for Forgotten Souls. I got like this will finish that up. If I can just jump back into leveling my glyphs. I have an abundance of every other resource. I think something else I wish they would have. You died on Lilith? Well, that's not a bad place to die at, okay? If you die anywhere, dying on Lilith isn't... No one's gonna judge you for that. Were you playing hardcore or just normal? Oh, you were playing... Oh, man. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. Did you have a scroll of escape? What happened? Oh, man. Dang, man. I hate when that happens, yo. I hate when that happens. That's happened to me, too. That's happened to me, too. So, I definitely understand that feeling. I think that's happened to me at least 2 times. Where... Because I have my Scroll of Escape slotted right here. And, what'll happen is I'll be like, okay, I'm about to bounce out of here, and when I go to use my Scroll of Escape, I zoom in on my character, so I get a nice zoomed in view of me dying. I had a really funny one happen one time. My dude just slumped over. 14 hours ain't bad, okay? I know it's still a lot of hours. But 14 hours ain't too bad. 14 hours is you can do that. You can get back there. I think the Visage is the worst one. Oh, 100. Oh, God, bro. I'm sorry that happened, my man. 144 hours, yo. That's a lot. That is a lot on a character. What were you doing running Uber Lilith, man? What were you doing right before Abattoir? Golly, 144 hours, brother. That sucks, man. Gotta get back on the horse, though. Get back on the horse. Once you get that Tears of Blood glyph, it don't even matter, though. Like, that Lilith won't even matter. Like, you'll do so much damage, it'll be ridiculous. He said, I'm glad no one was around to see that one. Oh, man. You know, sometimes I will say she'll bug out though, bro. Like, you got to be careful because she'll bug out and do some crazy stuff. I had it happen several times already where she goes into a completely separate set of animations after she should have already taken her last hit for the kill, and she'll start doing crazy stuff that she's not supposed to do. Or I've had it to where I stun her on the very last platform, and the platform won't disappear, and she'll be bugged out where she won't do anything after that. You'll have to reset it. Yeah, you just gotta be careful. Yeah, be careful with your barb, okay? But you just gotta be careful because sometimes it will bug her out. I noticed that, especially when I was doing a lot of my testing when I was swapping through, making my build for the abattoir, is that she'll bug out sometimes. If you stun her in certain parts, she would completely bug out. I wouldn't be able to kill her. She'd start spamming all of her different stuff. Wouldn't knock down anymore. Wouldn't break the platform at all anymore. It would just be stuck in a cycle of her repeating attacks. So I'd have to teleport out. That sucks, brother. Thinking if I want to, I'll probably keep this. Probably put this in my chest. Because I have a terrible, terrible chest piece on my Stormclaw character.
That looks worse. I'd still use these.
If you add me up, you can add me in game, and my battle net is just it's the same. Let me look at. I'll type my battle net. That way, if you want, like after I finish the avatar and everything, I'll help you level another character up. Let me see real quick. I'll have to go to my use my phone real quick to get into my YouTube. 3:13:04. Sorry if you hear the phone in the background. I have to go to my use my phone. There you go. If any of you guys are playing hardcore, and like I said, I'll be making a normal character too, so you guys go ahead and add me through the game. And I'll help you out, Sebastian. Get you level back up. Get you back in there. Killing Uber Lilith before you know it. Especially they got the new event coming up and you will get that potion. That'll be nice. Having that extra 10% experience. How much time? 13 minutes. Oh, in Europe, yeah. I don't. Hey, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. You probably can't. But it's a thought that counts, man. It's a thought that counts. But that goes for anybody. If anybody's playing, I have no problem. Like, we can do some hardcore. But I know a lot of people definitely don't like to step foot in here, and I don't blame them. I don't know if you seen just a minute, not too long ago, I DC'd in the middle of a dungeon, bro. I was very happy I did not lose my character. I thought for certain it was I was about to just give up on this build entirely because I'm not trying to level a third character. Not that I wouldn't do it, but Oh, Renegade's Retreat. I like that one. I like Renegades for leveling and everything. It has a nice little blend. Good, good. At least you have that person that'll help you out, get you up there, bro. I've helped out a couple people. I helped one guy out several times, but he kept dying. Like at one point, I was like, "There's no way I can get this guy all the way back up there again." I've probably helped him like 3 or 4 times, and my dude died every time. The trap. I hope they redesign the Uber Lilith fight at some point in time. I hope they do, because I mean it's such a cool looking boss, and Uber Lilith is such a cool character in general. I hope they do for a later season redesign that character. All right, brother, peace out, my man. Sorry about your character, man. That sucks, but I know you'll get back there. I hope you enjoy the new Abattoir content. Let me know how you like it, and let me know how well you do in it. I think it's funny that in this dungeon, there's just the Jalal is just a random character you kill in here, not the boss. Yeah, I think when I get Earth and Devastation, it'll be the damage will start to ramp up pretty fast. I just have to get that legendary node unlocked. I just like that I follow my Paragon board exactly when I'm leveling, even though it reduces my damage during the level up process. Just makes so I don't have to go back through and replace nodes as I go when I get to level 100. Where is it? 8 minutes.
I cannot do that here.
What did I get? Let's see. I don't want to do Conclave. I don't know if I want to do a level 50 yet. I'm sure I can do a level 50 though. I just don't want it to take too long. Seven minutes. Is there anything else I can do? I think I know I can get through this pretty fast. I just don't want to pass up everything just because I'm leveling. If I wasn't leveling and I was just doing glyphs, I'd gladly run through everything. But I do want to get some of the XP. Excuse me. Not the conclave again. I craft like 4 or 5 conclave dungeons in a row one time to trying to get a decent tier 100 dungeon to run. I don't know what it is about that dungeon. No. Won't get out of there because I don't like them Bloodseekers. All 3 of them Bloodseekers? No, sir. I'm gonna wait for my ultimate. Oh, nope. We'll just go ahead and bounce up out of there. I don't want to mess with those guys too much until I get all my glyphs set up. They do way too much damage at first. I wonder, don't they despawn? I think they despawn when you leave the dungeon. Fairly certain they do.
I must wait.
Yeah, good. I think they're just a bit over leveled for where I have currently with my glyphs and my armor. I could probably kill them, but it wouldn't really be worth the chance that there could it's like something could happen. They don't drop anything good enough for me to worry about it anyway. This chest is always funny when it bugs out like this and the enemies just stay there. Or I should say when they stack on top of the chest, because this one's actually working somewhat. Thing sounds like a machine gun. It starts proccing a bunch and you're just dropping poison creepers over you. Let me see where the world boss is at. I don't really want to miss out on the world boss. Just teleport out. Hopefully the last... Where's it at? Probably further, hopefully not further back in the dungeon. It's all the way in the back. I think I can make it out. It's got like a minute left.
I'm not ready yet.
Let me go ahead and just go do the boss. I don't want to miss the chance to get a decent piece of gear.
I must wait a moment.
Just got to remember that I put the put the key there.
I need more time. I need more time.
What is this guy just running around? We're working him down. They have really cool looking world bosses, man. I like a lot of them. This guy looks pretty dope. Where's everybody at? Am I the only person, and this guy is the only person killing this thing? He's almost there. All right. Good Lord. It's a lot of malignant heart.
I must wait a moment.
Okay. Back to the dungeon. Oh, it reset. Dang. Oh well. I was hoping it would be done fast enough before it would reset. But I don't mind running this dungeon. The broken bulwark. Yeah, I remember when they had the trailer for season 2 and they were showing off the metamorphosis and you could like dive up on top of cliffs and stuff and dive back down. I thought that was pretty cool. But it just was a cut, the way they cut the trailer. I was hoping you could actually do that in the game. I thought it would be pretty cool to navigate the terrain, just jumping up on a cliff, jumping back down. I want to move further away from that blister. Bad sigils. I don't like these sigils. All right. And we got a channeling shrine. Anything good? Probably just toss out one of these, pick up the pants. We're pretty much missing all the additional bonuses from our glyphs. I only have 2 unlocked so far. So got a lot of damage to pick up. Let's see. Damage from close, damage reduction while injured, dodge chance. That's a good pair of pants. And it's a nice item power. What am I missing? I think I just need like a damage reduction roll on that. Armor, that's what I need. I need an armor roll. And that'll be really good. Let's see, basic attack, lucky hit, cooldown. I don't really need cooldown. This is a better overall piece of gear. Basic attack, total armor, cooldown. What am I missing? Lucky hit while I have a barrier. I think I like that helmet better. Quick shift passive wouldn't be bad. I'd prefer to have the crushing earth passive though. Speaking of which, only +1 though. The lowest roll you can get. That's terrible. Lucky hit chance. Nope. That's not bad.
Not while I'm in town.
I just have to, again, go farm up a bunch of forgotten souls.
I can break that down.
Storm Wrath, that's fine. That's better.
Not while I'm in town.
Even though I don't really use any of those powers, I still feel the need to upgrade all of them. I don't know what it is.
Not while I'm in town.
All right. Let's go turn this in real quick.
Not while I'm in town. It is done. Not while I'm in town.
Oh man. +3 and a high crit strike chance roll. Just nothing else. I can only get like lucky hit or attack speed. Let me see how many forgotten. I don't even know if I have any forgotten souls. I have 2.
Be a stranger.
Yeah, I have to go farm up some forgotten souls later. But for right now, we'll just do some tormented ruins.
How can I help?
Hopefully when I do roll those items, I'll get exactly what I need at a decent pace. I don't have to spend too much money. I feel like sometimes the pack leader passive doesn't, like, must like bug out or something. The amount of crit hits that I get and it doesn't reset seems a bit excessive. I know it's just like gambling. You're not always going to hit that chance to get exactly what you need, but I feel like I'll go like the whole cooldown sometimes without actually resetting it, which is a bit weird. It's not very often, but it does happen. What's that sound? I think of the trash. I think they're picking up the trash. Once I get all the different multipliers up on my glyphs and everything, and I get everything set up properly, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm not here to kill the butcher. They need to make the rewards better for the butcher now, because I feel like the rewards are pretty terrible. And he takes forever to kill. Points. Oh, that's a perfect roll on Exploiter. Let's go take that.
Not while I'm in town.
Man, I really don't want to do Storm Wrath. Oh well. Valley of exploding spiders.
I'm not ready.
I hate when one of those little spiders get caught on a rock or something far, far back in the level. I know they're supposed to teleport to you, but sometimes the enemies don't.
I'm not ready.
That looks like an event up top there. Never mind, that's the way to go. I'll just go this way. I think I'm gonna log off and get my son ready for school and get him all squared away after this dungeon, and then I'll be back on. So around like 10:30. One more. have some pretty decent items here. The helmet, the gloves. Although the lucky hit chance, look at that. The lowest it can be, 5.4%. That's crazy. That's all right. I think the 3 ranks to landslide will make it worth it. Or plus 4 ranks, I should say.
Or ready for whatever you need.
Just gonna make sure this is set up right before I add these points in. Let's see. Up, then over, 2, then up. I think I'll skip that node though. I think I'll go up. I think I'll go over here. 1, 2. There we go. That'll work. That will work. Heathens, Lubins, Rest, Renegades, and Renegades. Both Blood Blister. Alrighty guys, I'm gonna go take a break for a second, get my son ready for school, and then I will probably be back on a little bit later, and then I'll probably do the content, the Avatar Observer content offline, and then log back on after I finish it up. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you back over here when I do log back on, but that's all for right now. Thanks again, and hope you have a good morning or a good night, depending on where you're from, and peace out, guys. I will see you in the next one.